How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of how to use a lathe. In this episode, we're going to be talking about maintenance of your machine and practice. And I first want to say thank you to the new subscribers. I appreciate that, and I think that you will find these videos interesting and the next content that will happen in the future. Let's hop right in. Okay, so first up, we're going to be talking about practice. So the reason I included practice in this video was because it is incredibly important, but it's not a long enough topic to be held in its own video. So first, I just want to go ahead and say that practice is what helps you learn and is what helps you feel safer when you're using a machine. So what I always like to do is, before I do anything or before I'm testing out a new tool, I either get some Delrin, which is just plastic, or aluminum, and they're both very cheap materials, so you don't need to have a lot of money in the bank to be able to get them. And I always test out the tooling before I go and use it for real. And that is to make sure that everything is right, and just to make sure that I am kind of doing the things that I need to do the correct way. I always use it for prototyping, and I always use it for just having fun most of the time. It's always a really good thing to have around, and again, it's not very expensive, so it's not that difficult to get a hold of. And I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for these materials, go to Online Metals. They have the best prices for the biggest array of materials. I've used them for years now, and I have no complaints, so check them out. Now let's hop into maintenance. Okay, so next up is maintenance, and maintenance is very important, and it's something that a lot of people don't take very seriously, again, because it's just time that you use to do this. So first off, lathes are generally pretty messy because things get flung around if you're polishing, or if you're using liquids to sand, or etc., coolant. So they need to be cleaned. And if you cut a lot and if you machine a lot, your chip tray is going to be full of chips. And as you see here, this right here is just me after today. And that is generally clean. That's what I would consider to be clean, because perfection is not going to happen, because you're going to be using a machine, especially if you use it a lot. So just that is clean. Now if your chip tray is full to the top and you can see the chips poking through, that's not very safe. You should clean it, and then make sure that, because there are intake fans under here. You don't need to see it, but there is an intake fan underneath there for my lathe. I don't really understand the design part of that, but chips can get in there and they can make noises, and if they really did get in there, I'm sure it probably wouldn't be great for the machine. So take care of it, clean it, and then now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, and then we're going to talk about the other parts of maintenance. Okay, so other than cleaning, which I guess I didn't cover this, so generally with your ways, you're going to want to make sure that if there are nicks, and they do happen, then you need to either kind of make sure that there's no sharp edges on there, and then if there are, you just need to kind of knock it down. And I usually just use a little bit of Scotch-Brite, and then obviously with surface rust, I usually try and use a little bit of Scotch-Brite if I leave it for too long, even though I do oil it when I leave. Now generally for oil, your machine manual will come with what kind of oil to use, and then it's not very expensive to get this much, and then it goes for a while because you don't really need to replace it very much. Now for mine, there are ball oilers, and what the ball oilers are for, they oil and lubricate the different parts of the machine. So right here, there are 3 here, there's a ball oiler here, and there's a ball oiler here, and then 2 for here. These oil the bore. This and this and this oil the entire carriage system, and then this right here lubricates the tailstock, and that lubricates the lead screw. And so that way your machine doesn't start rubbing against itself. There's some lubrication, and that is very important to do, but you don't want to overdo it and you don't want to underdo it. A lot of people run their machines when they first get them, and that's okay. You can do that, especially if you don't have the ability to get oil fast enough. But if you can get oil, you want to make sure you drain it if it came with oil, and then refill it up after a few hours. And then you want to do that a few times to cycle it out, because sometimes there are metal shavings inside These lathes, especially if they're more China made or Japan made, or whatever that is. So generally you do want to run a few oil cycles through here, and mine, this is where the oil, you fill up the oil, and then under here is where you drain the oil, down there, and then this is how you see the oil level. So it's really simple. And then right here, this is the thing you use to oil the ball oilers. This is broken, and so I've not been able to do it very effectively with this. So I do need to get a new one, but it's pretty simple. You just poke it in and you squeeze the oil and it goes under the oiler, and that's pretty much it. And then obviously again, as for the ways and all the bare metal parts, you do want to keep a thin layer of oil on those, especially if you have an outside shop and it's a very humid area. I'm in Florida, so surface rust happens, and as you can see, we'll do a close up later, but as you can see, there's not really any real rust. It's more just the patinaing of the metal. And now we're going to see if I forgot anything that I missed, and then we'll check back in. You might be wondering why I even made this a video. I did because this is a very important aspect that nobody really teaches, and again, it's not taken very seriously. And when people see your workstation and when people see your machines, they make a very quick judgment on how your quality of your products or your services are, which is not going to be very good, especially since it's so easy to keep it clean. And I've seen a lot of different YouTube videos with some very messy workplaces and very messy machines, and I don't judge them because I know it's not very easy to do, but I know the clients or the customers will, because it just doesn't look very professional. So definitely for professionalism, keep it clean, and for your overall ability to create, keep it clean. My mind is a lot clearer when I have a clean station, when I have a clean machine. I always make it maybe once a month or every other month. I try and clean the whole workshop out, and that's not like an overhaul, but I try and just sweep everything out because there are a lot of leaves that blow in this shop, and it just gets really messy. So definitely take care of that, and then try and dispose of the waste as properly as you can, like metal shavings. If you don't have very much metal shavings, it's okay to throw them in the trash, but if you're getting buckets of metal shavings every week or something like that, try and just, you could make money on that by scrapyarding it or whatever. So look into that, look into see if there's any local facilities that'll take it. And I don't think I missed anything else, but if I did, comment it like I always say. Now we'll jump into the outro. Okay, so I just want to say thank you for watching. Again, thank you to the new subscribers. I appreciate all the support. And the next episode is going to be on setting up your height of your machine, and then your overall machine, and then operating. So operating is the main part of this whole series. I've been putting it off so I can get a little bit better at YouTube, so I can explain it better. So it's only going to get better from here. My quality is only going to get better from here. I appreciate the people that are sticking on now, because it's only going to get better. So hope you guys all have a good week, and look out for the next video. And then before I forget, it really helps if you guys like the video. If you wanted to comment that you understand what I'm teaching here, or that you like what I'm doing, it just gives me some more reassurance that I'm actually helping, because that's all these videos are for, is to help, and to help people not get injured, and just to overall help your experience with a machine like this. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and then follow along for more.